This is Joyce Frieden for Global Medical News Network, reporting live from the Pediatric Hospital Medicine Conference in Tampa, Florida. I'm here with Vinita Mittal from UT Southwestern Medical Center, and she has presented a poster on preventing hospitalization in children who are dehydrated. Dr. Mittal, can you tell me who you studied?
So we studied in our urban population in Boston. We talked to families, primary care providers, and inpatient physicians to ask which of the hospitalization of dehydration were preventable according to them. And the reason was to study what their perspectives were, what they thought, which hospitals were preventable, and why they were preventable.
And what did you find?
So we found that 12 to 45% of hospitalizations are preventable depending on whom you ask, whether you ask the family or the pediatrician or the inpatient specialist. In 12% of cases, all three agreed the hospitalizations were preventable. We also went and asked them why they thought the hospitalization happened. So most commonly what families reported was that if they knew how to take care of dehydration, if they had better education about the oral rehydration therapy or how to give oral rehydration therapy, even if the child is vomiting, they would have probably hydrated the child better than have rushed to the ER. Whereas a lot of pediatricians reported that, of course, some of the kids were sick, so they really had to go to the hospital. But the ones which were preventable could have been prevented if parents called in early, because a lot of time pediatricians can also give advice on phone if it's after hours, or if they had called in early or come to the office a little bit earlier, they could have talked, assessed the kid, and then sort of maybe hydrated in the office and then given some advice on how to maintain that hydration at home overnight and maybe check them in the morning. They also another thing which also came up was in terms of family members is they also had financial barriers to getting insurance. So families who did not have insurance were more likely to not contact the pediatrician and go directly to the ER. So that was another thing which came out in the study. When we talked to the inpatient pediatricians, the hospitalists who look after the patients when they're admitted in the general pediatric ward, their perception was that yes, some of the hospitalizations were preventable if the patient had gone to the pediatrician earlier rather than waited for that long.
And what implications do you think your study has?
I think the most important implications of our study is that, first of all, there are 12 to 45% of dehydration hospitalizations are preventable. Second of all, to know that physicians, general pediatricians, of course, need to do, they need to educate the patients more and more about how to hydrate the child. But even from general pediatricians' point of view, the patients need to get in touch with them earlier. So it's everybody involved in the care has to be equally committed to doing this. Just the families need to contact on time or call on time, call ahead of time to get the information. Pediatrician, when they are contacted, need to educate these families more and maybe even more in depth. If you have a child who's vomiting, how to feed through that, and even little amount of oral rehydration therapy helps. And at the same time, we need to work better to try to get insurance for these families so that they can call. And another thing which we found was a lot of inpatient pediatricians felt that if we had short stay units in the ER where some patients could stay for anywhere less than 24 hours, that would prevent them from being hospitalization and avoid that extra cost of hospitalization, because those people could then come get hydrated and stay for little extra extended hours to learn to get hydrated. The parents can get their comfort, the kids can start drinking a little better, and then they can go home in like 8 hours, 10 hours, or 16 hours rather than get admitted to the hospital.
This has been Joyce Frieden for the Global Medical News Network.